Now let's talk about exporting in CUBASE. You can export an OMF file. This is a very common file format that a lot of programs use. You can select which tracks you want to export, and make sure you set a destination path so that the OMF file has a place to go. If your project isn't too big, you can export all of your audio files to one file. This makes your OMF easy to move around as one file. If we're talking a few gigs of audio and maybe a couple gigs more video files, then you want to use Export Media File References. This will keep your OMF file and all the video files and audio files separate. There are some other options here, but you'll only need to check these on or off if the person receiving them wants them on or off. When you export a MIDI file, you need to pick a name and a location of the MIDI file. Then this dialog box pops up. You can choose what you want exported in the MIDI file. You can even have an exported resolution PPQ for programs that still use PPQ as a base. Type 0 means all MIDI data is on a single track with different MIDI channels. And if you uncheck this, all the MIDI data will be on different tracks with different MIDI channels when you re-import it. Generally, you want this off. You can choose to stick to your locator range. And if you set up anything in your inspector, such as automation, inserts, sends, volume, panning, these can all be exported here too. Or you can choose to not export them. Audio mixdown is the most common export you'll be doing. This is where you take everything that is between the left and right locators and mix it down to a single file. You can pick the name, the format, the type of coding and attributes, how many channels there will be, bit resolution, and the sample rate. You can also import the mixdown back into CUBASE to listen to it later. The neat thing about this area is that you can mix down individual outputs, group channels, effect sends, or even single channels. The CUBASE operation manual fully explains all of the features inside this window. You can really do some amazing things here that you really should read up on. For example, we can encode in the Windows Media Audio Pro format. All of its options pop up here. There are many more possibilities, too much to explain here, but you can see how powerful and useful the export audio mixdown is. The next option is selected tracks. Let's select some tracks on the project page and then select this option. When you select the tracks for export, all of their track settings go with it. This includes inserts, EQs, sends, etc. Pick where you want the exported tracks to go to and hit OK. If you picked a folder that contains something, it'll ask you to select a new folder. We can now use the Track Archive options from the Import submenu to import what we've just exported. Last but not least, we can export the tempo track. And that's it.